The Delora was adrift in the vast expanse of the Funnel Nebula, its sleek frame shimmering faintly against a backdrop of swirling stellar gases. It had been hunted for days, relentlessly shadowed by 5 enemy warships, commanded by Admiral Veikar, a strategist whose name alone sent shivers down captains across the quadrant. Now, Captain Rhys Volarin stood on the bridge, gripping the edge of the holotable as projections flickered. 5 hostile markers steadily converging on their position. "We can't outrun them anymore," said Lieutenant Zasha, her voice strained but steady. "Even with the nebula masking our warp trail, Veikar's fleet will have us surrounded within 6 hours." Rhys didn't respond immediately. His eyes narrowed as he studied the holomap. His crew watched him with a combination of unease and resolve. They knew him to be a man of methodical brilliance, but even he had never faced odds like this. From the engineering deck, Commander Solon cut in over the comms. "Captain, the auxiliary engine is stable, but shields won't hold if we engage at full power. The nebula's ion fields are frying every coil we've got down here." "Understood," Rhys said grimly. He pushed away from the holotable and addressed the bridge crew. "This isn't just a fight to survive, ladies and gentlemen. It's a puzzle Veikar expects us to lose. But if we understand his moves before he makes them, we stand a chance." The Delora had never been a warship. It was a reconnaissance vessel, designed for stealth and speed, not brute strength. But that didn't mean it was defenseless. Its AI, codenamed Argus, was one of the most advanced strategic systems ever built, capable of simulating enemy tactics and predicting weaknesses. Rhys keyed the console, summoning Argus's voice, calm, precise, like the hum of circuitry. "Argus, 5 hostile warships closing in. Options?" The AI responded immediately, images flashing, projections of maneuvers, power allocations, shield configurations. Probability of survival increases if enemy ships are fragmented. Recommend disrupting fleet cohesion through targeted evasive maneuvers and environmental hazards. "The nebula," Rhys muttered. His mind ignited as he pieced the probability into a strategy. The Funnel Nebula had layers of unstable ion clouds, dense asteroid fields, and gravitational anomalies. He could use it against Veikar's fleet, but the margin for error would be razor-thin. "Helm," Rhys barked. "Plot a course towards Sector Gamma 72. Use the gravitational tide of the nearest anomaly to slingshot us into the denser cloud belt." "Captain Gamma 72, that's rife with ion storms," Zasha protested. "Exactly," Rhys said. "Veikar wants us predictable. If we keep thinking like prey, we're done. It's time to think like predators." The Delora lurched forward under his command, engines whining as its sleek body sliced through veils of interstellar gas. On the rear view feed, the 5 ominous enemy ships appeared in formation, long dagger-like silhouettes bearing Veikar's insignia and glowing faintly with their shield matrices. Moments later, Argus spoke again. "Enemy fleet adjusting trajectory. Probability model suggests they intend to divide and converge as we approach Gamma 72. Rhys's lips curled in satisfaction. "Good. Fragmented fleets are vulnerable fleets." As the Delora entered the sector, the stars vanished behind walls of turbulent orange clouds. Lightning-like arcs sliced through the nebula, hitting fragments of asteroids and sending debris flying. It felt like venturing into the jaws of chaos. But Rhys wasn't leading them aimlessly. He had memorized the nebula's hazardous terrain maps from old star charts housed in Argus's database. "Zasha," Rhys said firmly, "I need a projection of the storm's charge buildup patterns. Argus will feed you anomalies. Match those patterns to shield breach probability for enemy vessels." Zasha's fingers flew across her console. As data compiled, the bridge's tension finally gave way to purpose. "They'll have to avoid direct paths through the densest ion pockets," Zasha said, excitement sparking in her voice. "We can herd them, if we run them full burn past the arc points." "Exactly," Rhys said. "Helm, bring us just shy of Arc Cluster Alpha. Tactical, ready pulse mines. We'll release 2 just inside their evasion corridor." The Delora shifted into position as beams of ion-charged lightning illuminated the enemy fleet's jagged advance. The first pulse mine detonated in their path, its shockwave amplified by the environment, sending 2 smaller warships scrambling to adjust their stabilizers. Veikar's flagship surged forward, its dominant frame virtually immune to the turbulence, flanked by 2 destroyer-class vessels maintaining their calibrated trajectory. "2 destabilized," Argus confirmed. "Fleet cohesion disrupted by 25%. "Not enough," Rhys said. They'll regroup faster than we will if we don't take advantage. As the larger ships bore down, Rhys executed his next gambit. Release tether drones. Target smaller destabilized vessels. The drones released with precision, their magnetic grappling hooks firing toward the fractured ships. The Delora dragged the struggling vessels into a gravitational anomaly where turbulence swallowed them whole like a ravenous maw. 2 eliminated, remaining forces 3 vessels. Incoming accelerated response from flagship and destroyers. The Delora continued its daring plunge deeper into the nebula, her hull trembling under the sheer pressure of ion bursts. The gravitational pockets tugged at her stabilizers, but the crew kept full focus. They knew the stakes outweighed fear. Argus calculated probabilities with blistering speed, feeding Rhys critical adjustments amid chaos. "Captain, flagship is gaining!" Solon shouted from engineering. Rhys's jaw tightened. From the viewport, the flagship was closing, its shields resilient against the violent storm, its weapon systems aligning like a predator ready to strike. On either side, the destroyers began pressuring their flank, forcing the Delora toward the edge of the cloud belt. "She's funneling us," Zasha realized breathlessly. Veikar's trying to pin us between the anomalies. "Not if we turn her trap against her," Rhys countered. Rhys pointed to the incoming destroyers on the holomap. "One final hazard cluster, southwest of our current position. A storm core capable of electromagnetic disruption. Helm, divert control systems for warp-capable flooding when we pass through." Zasha hesitated, concerned about the impending risk. "But Captain," she thought, "the storm core could shred even our shields!" Rhys assured the crew, his confidence unwavering. "We won't linger," he thought, "but they will." As Veikar's fleet bore down, Rhys gave the final command. "Prepare temporal fission ring! Full acceleration on my mark!" The Delora fired its thrusters into the storm core's electric field, its hull glimmering as its shields endured the brutal impact. The flagship and remaining destroyers, however, were less fortunate. The field reacted violently with their energy matrices, triggering electromagnetic pulses that crippled their stabilizers. Admiral Veikar's triumphant chase turned into a desperate recovery mission as her flagship spiraled into the core's voracious gravity. In contrast, the Delora slingshot itself away, its thrusters burning furiously against a chaotic canvas of dispersion storms. Hours later, silence crept onto the bridge. The Delora had escaped beyond the nebula's edge, bruised and battered, but alive. Rhys stood at the viewport, staring at the distant orange smears of gas where Veikar's fleet had faltered. "Damage report," Rhys ordered softly. Solon responded over the comm. "Structural integrity's holding. Engine efficiency is down 40%, but we'll make it once we clear energy absorption fields." Rhys nodded solemnly, then turned to Zasha. "Send a message to command. Fleet dispersed. Pursuit neutralized with environmental engagement. Minimal losses." Zasha smiled faintly. "Message sent, Captain!" As the Delora continued its trek into safer territory, Rhys reflected on the battle. Not just the tactics, but the puzzle Veikar had set. The enemy fleet had underestimated more than just the hazards of the nebula. They had underestimated the ingenuity of a crew unwilling to surrender. For now, survival was victory enough. But Rhys knew better than most. The war wasn't over. He would carry the memory of that chase like a scar, and from it forge more plans, more tricks, more victories. For it was clear to him now. The games Veikar played weren't won by strength alone. They were won by those willing to rewrite the rules entirely.